So I feel like every few months or like a few times a year, I go down like the nostalgia rabbit hole. Like you find all the old things that you used to watch and consume, and for me, it was mostly like video game stuff. So like all the old YouTubers, all the old Minecraft, Hunger Game YouTubers, the Club Penguin, the Wizard 101 YouTubers, the even Overwatch, Minecraft, stuff like that, and like old TV shows and like SpongeBob and stuff that I used to watch, like Curious George, like just a ton of like nostalgic stuff from my childhood. I don't know how I feel about it honestly, because in one sense it feels like very inspiring because subhanallah we live for like so long. You know what I mean? Like 8 years feels like so long for me. Like 8 years ago, I was 10 years old and I was doing like so many things. You know, even looking back at like old videos of yourself and like your family, it's so that is nostalgia. But for some reason, I'm 18. I'm genuinely a baby, but I feel like I've lived for so long. And the fact that there's people like triple my age, quadruple my age, it's actually insane to think about. I cannot comprehend life beyond like 21 years old, 25 years old. Like being older than that, I can't even account for what would happen. SubhanAllah. And on the day of judgment, when we all die, we're gonna be like, we haven't stayed in this world for more than like a day or a few hours. SubhanAllah, bro. It's such a massive scale. You know what I mean? I need to stop saying you know what I mean. Like you don't know what I mean. I have to explain myself. It's such a massive scale, like this life. I can't even imagine people that live to 100, 120. SubhanAllah, bro. It really gets you to be like all existential because like everything like is just on such a long time horizon, and just a few years back feels so nostalgic to me. So I can't even imagine how nostalgic things feel for people who are way older than me. Wow, like even looking back at like yearbooks, it's almost like a different life. Like it doesn't feel real. It feels like it's someone else's life, but we kind of know it's ours because it's just so familiar to us. But it just feels like it's been so far that it's just not us anymore. I guess that's how it is because we're not the same person at all. Our identity has changed and evolved. But is nostalgia like beneficial? There's something in my mouth. Is nostalgia beneficial at all? I think I haven't found a use for it. It's just kind of nice, like every once in a while, to like real. I think it helps like for the introspection part to like really open up the scale of the world and see like how, in the grand scheme of things, like you're nothing. But beyond that, I mean, like what's in my head right now, like what I'm thinking about right now, what's on my mind is that looking onto the past is not like super beneficial, at least like doing it a lot, because looking towards the future is more beneficial because you're planning for the future. You're working towards a greater future rather than simply reminiscing about the past. But reminiscing about the past is actually very dear to our hearts, I would say. Like, sure, it might not like low key kind of does make you money because you get stories, and stories are pretty valuable if they get a point across, and in that sense, it makes you more money. But for the most part, looking back doesn't make you more money. It doesn't like help you grow. Low key kind of does though. It might have some growth potential just for like journaling and like introspection. So yeah, I would say nostalgia is helpful. It's not like you're gonna have nostalgia every day. It's like you look back for like maybe 1 or 2 hours, like every 6 months, 12 months. Like it's just here and there. It's random. It's not like you plan like this is gonna be my nostalgia day. It just kind of happens, and you go down like a rabbit hole, like I just did. I feel like it happens way too often to me though, like way too often, like for my age. But it's whatever, honestly. But I definitely agree with that. They should be like that is beneficial to be forward looking and to be obsessed about the future. But that's more like for growth oriented people, right? People like me who are super growth oriented, who want to grow, who want to become successful, exceptional, and one of a kind. Maybe not one of a kind because I don't give that much of a shit. But become successful, exceptional, make money, who be entrepreneurs who just grow. That's the kind of person that I am and I aspire to be. But for people who like normal people who aren't like obsessed out of their mind about growth, nostalgia's cool. It's like this one thing that I read. There's like this one podcast by Gollum Studio. It's called The Rights of Companionship. It was based on some book called The Rights of Companionship. And one of them was that you don't like excessively desire wealth. Because if wealth is your main goal, you're gonna give up relationships for it. As soon as like the relationship stops being useful, you give it up. And that's like what the entrepreneurs preach. They're like, you're the average of the five people you spend time with. You have to grow out of like this season and like you're not gonna have the same friends. You're gonna have to get rid of some friends that are holding you back. And while like that's not inherently bad, like of course if you have like a drug addict friend who's just a nuisance to you and you don't do drugs and you despise drugs and stuff like that, like yeah, obviously move on. But I think there is like a merit to like keeping relationships even if they're not like fully beneficial. I can't really speak on that though because I don't really have experience with that. Most of my relationships do help me grow, I guess, except for a few. But even then, it does kind of help me grow. So most of my relationships, actually, no, I'm not sure about that actually. Not, I would say some of our relationships are just neutral. Like, I'm friends with them. We're friends together. We talk. We maybe learn from each other. It's not like purely like growth. Like they're not an entrepreneur or anything, trying to like growth and like power level everything. But that is what it is, man. To like, I think I would want to be someone like that though, who still has relationships with people who don't like make them more money or anything. Like maybe not like the closest relationship because like my closest relationships should definitely help me grow. Not as like a selfish thing, but we like both grow together. Like that's just the that's just what I value. Those are my values, and I think I would still like I've always imagined myself as having friends in like all walks of life, having like rich friends, like middle class friends, and like really poor friends, and like having that perspective of like all walks of life. I always thought that was cool. So I definitely see myself like still keeping some relationships that aren't like fully future looking and growth oriented. But yeah, nostalgia is a really cool thing, man. It honestly reminds me of Allah every time because the passage of time, getting closer to the day of judgment, getting closer to your death, it's all just so surreal. Like subhanallah, bro. It makes me remember Allah every single time. Subhanallah. Like all I can think of is just subhanallah when like such awe-inspiring things come in. I'm like, okay, how do you not believe in God? Like it's our nature to believe in God. Like it's our fitrah. Like you believe in like some higher force, whether you call it nature, Mother Nature, or the universe. Like you're talking about God. You're talking about Allah, bro. Like we all have that sense of being connected to something bigger, that sense of something bigger being out there. Especially you access that when you're feeling nostalgia. You're like, wow, like so much happened to me. You know what I mean? I said it again. Just so much has happened to us in our life. Like I remember this time in second grade where oh my god, in second grade, dude, I was like what? Let me do the math here. If I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old because I started school early, so I think probably 6 or 7 years old. Oh wow, amazing! 6 or 7 years. That was like 11 years ago. Holy crap! But what I remember is that we were playing dodgeball out on the playground, and I remember I'd just be dodging all of the dodgeballs. I would just be like doing random movements on the floor, dodging them, and feeling like the man because I was dodging all of them. I was like, I'm the best dodger. I never validated that because I never like asked anyone if they thought I was a good dodger, or like all like the cool kids never like came up to me and they were like, you're really good at dodging dodgeballs. Like, and that might have happened actually. That might have happened now that I think about it, but I can't remember. Like, I can't validate that. So I honestly could have been just sitting there like dodging the dodgeball, which wasn't even thrown at me, like it was thrown at the guy behind me, and I dodge it and I'm like acting all cool, like I feel like literally the main character. I feel so cool doing it, but I don't think anyone saw the same thing. So I was just so happy there by myself doing these weird movements, dodging it. And that still stands with me today, bro. Every time like we would play dodgeball in like even high school, bro. Actually, not in high school. In middle school, I think. I don't even know. I'm just yapping now. Because in high school, I was throwing bullets at people. I wasn't dodging the balls. I was throwing bullets. But yeah, nostalgia just reminds me of a lost family love. And that is nostalgia. I didn't even get like a point across in this video. I was just kind of ranting. So I guess this channel has like two purposes. Like one is ranting, and two is like actually practicing talking. I guess they both kind of come hand in hand as well. It's just not as concise, which is I've been talking about being concise like the past few videos, but I have not been very concise. When inshallah I'm super successful in the future, well, how do you define that? If you make like more than 20K a month, people are gonna be like, wow, you're very successful, very nice. Then people will like look at these videos and be like, oh, this is what he was thinking at this time. Because that's what I like wish kind of to see about other people. Not really. Because, I mean, I guess a little bit. Like, I'd like to see a snippet of like each person's like come up. Not like their whole like Iman Gachi, like he has his whole thing there, but I don't want to like go through watch all of his videos. I just want to snip it because I don't care that much. And that'd be cool. Like technically, it's like a big investment because I'm spending this time, and inshallah, if Allah so wills, in the future, 5 to 10 years, I might be some big figure. Who knows? And from that, this will be like very interesting videos for my followers, visionaries, fellow leaders to watch. Me sitting in bed like an absolute maniac, just talking to a camera at 2:20 a.m. That's insane.